Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel that knows nothing. I'm Jem, and let's get to it. So today we are doing Avatar: The Last Airbender book tag because I did do Korra before and I feel really bad for doing Korra first. I should have done this one first, but it's happening now, so shh. So let's just dive on into the first question, which is water, and that is Katara and Sokka, and that is a favorite sibling relationship. And I decided to go with Bridgerton, the Duke and I, because I feel like these sibling relationships are very strong within this series. I feel like they are constantly there to back up each other, and yet is a little bit problematic in a way because of the time setting, but I do believe that in this one they are really there for Daphne, and I like that. It reminded me a lot about my dynamics in siblinghood in the way that we are there for each other all the time, no matter what. Period aside, because, you know, problematic things. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Question number 2 in this Avatar book tag is you, and that is favorite star-crossed lovers. And I'm going with the only star-crossed lovers I know apart from Romeo and Juliet, and that felt too predictable for me to pick. So I decided to go with Peter and Katniss from the Hunger Games. They were endgame to begin with. Don't you argue with me. I hate Gale. I hated him from the beginning. He was just a very annoying character, and I didn't like him, and I felt like Katniss knew that she was going to be with Peter by the second book. There wasn't this back and forth shit they put in the movies. Those things, stupid. No. Penis all the way. Number 3 in this tag is Bloodbending, and I almost dropped the book. And that is a book with disturbing and unsettling content, and I just realized that I picked another Bridgerton book, but I decided to pick Sir Philip with Love. If anyone has read this book out there, you'll know how problematic it is. But basically, the man that Eloise decides to be with is very controlling and not nice and kind of manipulative as well, and he's just all the bad things that you don't want a guy that is just there, and she's like, yes, and I'm like, Eloise deserves better than you. Nobody cares that you haven't had sex in a while, Philip. Nobody cares. She wanted to know if you freaking loved her. You're the only person complaining about sex, man. Get over yourself. Question number 1 in the Earth section. So we're moving on from water to Earth. And that is Toph, and that is a character whose strength surprised you. And I decided to go with Joanna from the Lady's Guide to Petticoats in Piracy. Her strength didn't really surprise me, but I think it surprised others within the book. I always knew she was going to rise above to the occasion and do things awesome because, you know, I feel like it's in the title that ladies are going to be awesome in this book. Anyway, I love this. I read it this year and it was totally amazing. I loved it so much better than The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, but I kind of expected that anyway because I love Felicity, and I love Felicity, Sim, and Joanna. I love them. They are my children, they are my babies. I pull them in close to my chest. If you don't know, I highly recommend this book. Number 2 in this tag is Ba Sing Se, and that is a collection of short stories or poems that are god tier. And I decided to go with Neil Gaiman's Click Clack the Rattle Bag. Sorry, I always forget how to pronounce it. I have my notes. Don't worry, I worked it out. This was a story that my lecturer read to like our entire lecture theatre in horror week of my writing degree, and it was totally so freaky and so awesome. I just have no words to describe how cool this thing was. I will leave a link to Neil Gaiman actually reading it because it's really creepy and cool. But yes, that is the creepiest story I've ever read. Well, got read to me. Number 3 in this Earth tag part of the Avatar Last Airbender book tag. Anyway, that totally made sense. Number 3 is the Kyoshi Warriors, and that is best warrior character, and I decided to go with Jude from The Cruel Prince. I know this is not The Cruel Prince. It's currently being loaned to my cousin, who loved it, by the way. Anyway, I know this is not this. I know this is not The Cruel Prince, but this is the closest thing that I had to it. I really like her as a character. I think she's totally amazing, and I think why I like her so much and why I chose her for the warrior type thing is that she is a mortal living in the Fey lands and has to try harder to be good, and I just think she's awesome. Bless her soul. Number 1, moving into fire segment, is Zuko, and that is best redemption arc, and I decided to go with Genya, I don't know, it's pronounced many different ways, from the Shadow and Bones trilogy, or the Grishaverse trilogy, whatever you want to say. I really did not like her when she first betrayed Alina. I thought that was like a really shit move, and I thought what had happened to her was really terrible, but I did not think that justified being a dick to your friends, because no, never. Don't do that shit. But I feel like in the end she was really redeemed, and I've heard she's in a Crooked Kingdom, so I will be really interested to see what she does in that universe. I mean, it's the same universe, but in the universe of Six of Crows universe. I've not read it yet. I will get there. I just love this one so much, like that trilogy. I love it. As trashy as it is, again, my child, my baby. Come close. Number 2 within the fire bracket of this book tag is Uncle Iroh, and that is best wisest character that you know, and I decided to go with Tyrion Lannister from A Clash of Kings in particular, because he is just so wise. No, but he is really wise within the series in general, or at least the TV series that I've seen, but also within the 2 books of Game of Thrones that I have read. He's just really good at working out shit and manipulating people, but like in a kind of witty way where it doesn't feel like manipulation. And the people he is manipulating, we don't really care about, like Cersei and all those other people. Like, we don't care about that shit because, you know, they're evil, so fuck them. Number 3 within the fire bracket again is Azula, and that is best downfall, although I don't think any downfall can be as good as Azula's from Avatar. Like, you just can't compare it to anything, and it took me forever to think of a good one, and even this one I am debating whether it is good or not. In the end, I decided to go with Ares from the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief book, because how lame is it to lose to a 12-year-old when you were a god? I thought it was funny, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to the air bracket of this tag. And this question is upper, and that is favorite pet / animal within a series. And I decided to go with Newton, the corgi from the Viscount Who Loved Me. I'm realizing now that I've picked a few Bridgerton books. I will try not to do that this next time. But yeah, if Newton wasn't there, I don't think Kate and Anthony would have gotten together. So praise that dog. That dog was a wingman, in my opinion. Anyway, number 3 in the air bracket of this tag, which is also the last question of the Avatar Last Airbender tag, is Avatar State, and that is a stubborn character or a character that refused to let things go. But I decided to go with stubborn characters because I don't know any characters that refuse to let things go. And now that I've said that, I'll probably think of one. No? Anyway, in the end I decided to go with Diana from the Gone series because she is majorly stubborn. Especially when she has like 0 powers and she goes up against like Drake. Well, not really like up against him, but like, you know, says things to him and I'm like, do you want to die? Please don't say those things. You're gonna die. He's gonna kill you because he's psychotic. Please don't. I love you. Anyway guys, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, subscribe because that is always nice, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.